Wow, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Oh, I feel the love in my heart just up, boil up for everyone. Oh, who know. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living. I am Sandra, and it is my pleasure to welcome you this morning. Oh, let me just catch my breath from that wonderful. This is the first time I danced with a man in a long time. And that type of dance too. Oh, wonderful. Let us just now bring this love in our hearts to praise and acknowledge the divine presence together. We truly, truly know that God is all there is. God is the presence, the power, the Alpha, the Omega, the top, the bottom, the middle, the all that is. It is a love in our hearts. It is a love out of which we were created. It is that love which we share easily, effortlessly, and beautifully with each and every other person with whom we come into contact, knowing that we are all one in love. And so on this beautiful first Sunday in the month of February that we celebrate as a love month, I know that this divine presence is guiding us, is nurturing us, and it is that which is expressing powerfully and perfectly during this Sunday morning service. And truly we give thanks for the blessing of Spirit, for the love of Spirit, for the joy of Spirit, expressing perfectly and awesomely in our hearts. I truly give thanks as I release my word with deep, deep gratitude, knowing that it is fulfilled and accomplished whereunto it is spoken. I rejoice that all this is so now, and so it is. Oh, I know it's my pleasure to invite Ibo to do our inspirational reading this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Abel.
Today's inspirational reading is taken from Ideas for a Living by Dr. Ernest Holmes on page 42. Love overlooks the little differences that we have and finds a point of reconciliation with others. Love creates tolerance and human understanding, without which we become really divided against ourselves, and without which we almost unconsciously become filled with criticism, condemnation, and false judgment. No one can be happy or enjoy the greatest fulfillment in life until he has come to see that most people try to do the best that they can. And when we are able to reach out beyond the indifference and the coldness of life, reach throughout all the intolerance and unkindness, only then do we meet that divine center, which is forever established within every person, and so it is.
And so it is.
I will now be lighting the candle of the candle. I'll now be saying the blessing of the children. Together, we love you. We appreciate you. We salute the Christ in you. And we see you as shining lights onto our world. God is blessing you now.
And
So it is. Now for the Temple of Light mission song. Temple of Light, the Temple of Light.
Ebo. Let's acknowledge him. And now I'm inviting you to stand for us to do our praise song together. And it's on page 2 of your program. You to remain standing for the prayer of our center in the flyer in your program together. The Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed. And to God be the honor and the glory forever. And so it is. Amen. Yes, please be seated. And we have a few short announcements on this, the 6th day of February, in which we celebrate the birthday of our own Bob Marley. Let us just acknowledge our Bob Marley. There have been quite a number of videos going around. I saw Arabs playing One Love a couple of days ago. And then they have another one, Don't Worry About a Thing, the Three Little Birds, where people are singing it all over the world. And there was another one in a bus, Bob Marley, international, Jamaican. Okay, so just a few short announcements. Don't you just love the live flowers? Yeah. And this morning, they were created by Mrs. Connie Nugent. Oh, thank you, Connie. Connie not here this morning. Oh, we bless you and we just so appreciate you. We welcome all first-time visitors this morning. Anybody here in the sanctuary for the first time? No? Anyone? If you are here in spirit or on the internet watching, we welcome you to our hearts and to our beautiful Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living. And we trust that you will visit with us again and share your consciousness with us. Now, we continue to live stream every Sunday at 9, and on Tuesdays at 6 when we have our spiritual mind healing service. The recording is available later on YouTube. So our schedule is as follows. On a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have quiet moments in the garden with our own Rev John Scott. And it's a refreshing and insightful early morning start to your day. And then, of course, spiritual enrichment service, spiritual mind healing service. That's on a Tuesday at 6 o'clock on Facebook and Zoom. This week, our presenter is practitioner Vance Gardner, and the link is sent out from our mailing list. Of course, prayer power continues with much power and great consciousness. It's an hour of communion on a Thursday at 6 o'clock, and it comes to you via Zoom. The link, of course, is sent out on Thursday mornings in our mailing list. Now, wow, the spiritual prosperity adventure. It has been an adventure indeed. We have 37 persons registered, and it has been an amazing ride so far. We are 1/3 the way through. We've had 4 sessions, and we are recording each event or each session that we have, and we will be offering them for sale afterwards. So don't think that you might have missed out. And look out for a number of other workshops that we're going to be offering over the next few months. More on that later. Now, we invite you to invite a friend or a family member or your special Valentine to worship with us next Sunday, February 13th at 9 a.m. This is our Friendship Sunday. And so whether in person or online, we invite you to make this a date. It's a day before Valentine's Day, so you can be sure that we will have a very, very special love-filled message from our speaker, Reverend Sonia Davidson. Now, we are inviting you to remember that membership fees are due, and it's $6,000 for 2022. And membership fees help to facilitate the expenses of our center, our electricity, our bills, as we call them. So please remember, it's $6,000, and you can bring them up after our service or drop in any time in the week, or pay online. And of course, when you pay online, remember to indicate that it's for membership fees. So we continue to respond to all your requests for prayer. And if you would like to speak to a minister from Monday to Friday between 8 a.m. and 12 midnight, you can call 876-289-0907. That's 876-289-0907. And friends, if you feel moved to offer your support to our ministry, kindly visit our donate page at donate.templeoflightcsl.org, which has all our banking details. We thank you for your generosity and helping us to be a beacon of light in the world. And this concludes our announcements. And we are also just reminding you that we are still following very strict protocols, so there'll be no gathering after our service. So I now invite you to join us in singing our first hymn, I Radiate the Love. Please stand. Wow. And just as we were about to sing, we have wonderful new guest joining us. So we welcome you to our hearts and to our wonderful Temple of Light. We so are happy to have you. Friends, our speaker this morning radiates the love from his heart. He is affectionately known as the Beloved. And I know he's going to bring an amazing message to you this morning. So I invite you to open your hearts, open your consciousness, and put your hands together and welcome our pastor, Rev John Scott.
Thank you, Sandy, and good morning, good morning, good morning, worldwide spiritual family. Happy Love Month, happy Black History Month, happy Reggae Month, happy birthday month of the Honorable Robert Nesta Marley. I have an assignment for our musicians. It just occurred to me as I was sitting listening to Sandy. Our mission song for the third Sunday of February, I'll be speaking again. Could our musicians, Angela and Stevie Golding and everybody else, Sandy, everybody else musical, put a reggae beat to our mission song for us? Is that possible? Yes. Yes. You know, when Temple member Denise Inglis first came up with this idea of having a mission song, and it was hers, and she's here this morning. Thank you, Denise. She had said, you know, we could get musicians from every genre to create, we'd have the words, and then they would put their own particular rhythm and the genre of their music to the words. So there you go. It's an idea whose time has come. Over to you, musicians, to give us a reggae beat for the third Sunday in February. Wow. Friends, I obtained a master's degree in the Applied Behavioral Sciences from Johns Hopkins University back in 1981. And I became a minister in 2003. I remember when I got that call, I said, I know me call you, you call me. So check what you get. But friends, in all my years of counseling and experience with human behavior, I still am yet to understand the way men and women have totally different perspectives on life, on relationships, and in particular on love. A friend sent me this joke about this devoted wife who dutifully had been sitting by her husband's bedside as he slipped in and out of a coma for months. Always there. And when he finally came to, he motioned to her to come near. He said, Gladys, come here. I want to talk to you. So she went, dutifully took his hand, tenderly sat on the edge of his bed. And he said, you know, you've been with me through all the bad times, them. When we went bankrupt and we lost the business, you was there. And when we did get shot, you did there by my side. And when the car crashed and we broke up, you was there. And when my health started to fail, you was there. All the time you was there, right by my side. And so I talk, so she'll stroke him hand. And say, Gladys, I want a divorce. She said, but you're not easy, Herbert. What you say? Divorce you want? After I've been by your side all the time? Him say, yes, Gladys. A divorce me, I say. You was always there, you know, so you are the bad luck, you are the crosses. Every time something bad happen, you there. What a tragedy it is, my friends, when we refuse to take responsibility for our own actions, eh? It's always somebody else's fault, isn't it? If the streets are dirty, why doesn't the government do something about it? We never think, why don't I stop throwing debris through the car window? Or when I'm walking, eat and drop the patty bag right on the side of the road. And if our children are unruly and don't have any manners, why don't the teachers do something about it? Hello, or who for yard them living? Who is supposed to set the example? But no, it's never our fault. Somebody else must fix it. And sometimes when anything goes wrong, oh no, honor me. Sounds familiar? Time for us to start accepting responsibility. Too many of us, like the husband in my story, and it's only a joke, and poking fun at our Jamaican men, but the scenario may be replicated no matter what nationality you are or no matter where in the world you are. Let us start to take responsibility and to look at ourselves and what we are contributing in the game of life and how we play it as we sail through the sometimes stormy seas of our existence. You know, a lot of us, indeed, of our womankind, but both genders, give everything we have to the people that are significant in our lives. And somebody who had in counseling many moons ago recently wrote me and said, you know, you talked one Sunday morning about the way you used to give your mother all the delicacies that she loved, which is true, I've spoken about it here. She loved seedless grapes, I bought seedless grapes by the kilo. She loved salmon, I bought salmon so that she could have it whenever she wanted. So I would make certain that her suppers were just absolutely gourmet. And then I would rummage around in the fridge for some leftovers. And I never forget sharing with our founding minister, Dr. Elmer Lumsden, one day during one of our chats. I didn't realize she was grooming me, but that's what she was actually doing. I said, you know, I took the stew peas from last week and put some water in it and made red peas soup. And she said, just a minute, dear. You do that all the time? And I said, yes, I don't want the leftovers to go to waste. And she said, so you give your mother and everybody else the very best that you have, and you settle for leftovers. And it hit me for 6. I always settled for what in Jamaica we call the walef. Remember, you know that term? Walef. So my friends, if you resonate with this picture I have painted of shortchanging yourself in your relationships while lavishing the best on the significant others in your life, you need to remind yourself right here and now that as a beloved child of God, you deserve the all good too. And further, this may be a hard pill for you to swallow, but I want you to know that if you don't treat yourself well, neither will other people. Because people take their cue from the thought atmosphere that surrounds you. And if you don't have a high enough opinion and enough love for yourself to give yourself the very best, the rest of the world is not going to honor that alone. Friends, the beautiful Jesus used to go apart to gather his energy. And it is the Bible speaks of going up into a mountain. When it says that, and he took leave of the multitudes and went up into the mountains to be there alone. I'll quote it for you. It's Matthew 14:23. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening came, he was there alone. End of that scripture. So friends, when the Bible speaks about going up into a mountain, it is symbolic of ascending to the high point in consciousness that comes when we go within to commune with the creator of our lives and the sustainer of our existence through prayer and meditation. You see, we need quality time for ourselves, just as we give of our quality time to the people around us and the people for whom we feel responsible. 19th century American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson said, and I quote, "Guard well your spare moments. They are like uncut diamonds. Discard them and their value will never be known. Improve them and they will become the brightest gems in a useful life," unquote. Guard well your spare moments. Save some of them for yourself. Don't discard them so that they become forgotten. Use some of that precious time for yourself. Even in the airline industry, you know, they tell you if the pressurization goes and the oxygen masks drop down, put on yours first before trying to help anybody else. Because you have to be in a state of wholeness and completeness before you can express that to the people around you whom you love. So this brings me to your assignment. And your assignment is in two parts this week. Regulars at the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living know that I always give an assignment when I speak. And I just know that there are some people who do it faithfully, and I bless them, and some do it occasionally, and I bless them. And those that don't do it, I also bless them, because we are gifted with the power of choice. But I hope you will choose to do this assignment this week. And the first part of the assignment is for you to schedule some gourmet time for yourself. Time in which you pamper yourself and work on building a conscious partnership with the divine. Remember the acronym I gave you a few weeks ago for change? CHANGE. Consciously having a new God experience. So take some time to consciously have a new God experience this week. In her book, No Less Than Greatness, author Mary Manning Morrissey recommends that we spend a day with God. I love that concept. Give yourself a day with God. She writes, and I quote, "Spend one day with God. This is absolutely private business between you and your Creator. Nobody else knows that God walks with you as a companion throughout this day, but it makes all the difference in the world. As God moves from the background to the foreground of your life, everyday experiences become holy experiences," unquote. Morrissey goes on to recommend that when we shower, even bathing can be a sacrament like baptism. I love that. That when that water is pouring over your shoulders and you're feeling just the joy of being bathed or bathing yourself, not just becoming physically clean, but allowing your thoughts to become clean with God. And so I have an affirmation that I say very often, and I've shared it with you before. It's that I bathe myself in appreciation and in the enlightened interpretation of my life's experiences. I break it down, you say it with me. I bathe myself in appreciation. Together? I bathe myself in appreciation and in the enlightened expression of my life's experiences. Friends, you can do it whenever you're handling water. Watering the garden, washing dishes, bathing the dog. Just say, I bathe myself in appreciation. Start to love yourself. Make yourself your number one Valentine. And as part of your spiritual practice, even when you're washing your feet. When as a child and I went to primary school, you know, we used to take off our shoes and run around in our bare feet. And then we'd go under the standpipe. I don't know how many of you have this memory of yesteryear, and you would wash your feet before putting on your shoes to go home. And when you wash your feet represent your understanding. Your feet represent your ability to move forward in life. So love your feet. You ladies, I think, are much better at this than we men. You know, you go and have a mani-pedi, hand shell, foot shell, and face shell, as we say in Jamaica. But we men sometimes really neglect our feet, except we have a partner who looks after them for us. We need to look after what takes us forward in life. And so as you look after your feet, remind yourself that where you stand in life is holy ground. Wherever your feet touch the ground. Reverend Elmer gave us a lovely, lovely mental picture one time we were on retreat with her. And it was that when we walked the labyrinth, with every step we took, a lotus blossom opened somewhere on the face of the earth. Isn't that lovely? Wherever you step, something blooms, something comes to life, something becomes more beautiful because you walk the earth. So there's that lovely song, how beautiful are the feet of those that preach the gospel of peace. My friends, in your lives, you, by the way you are living them, you, by the way you love yourself, are preaching the gospel of oneness, the gospel of love, the gospel of togetherness. How beautiful are your feet when you, just think of it, you, sent by God to walk the earth as an ambassador of love and peace and understanding and beauty. So that's the first part of your assignment. The second part, if you have a partner, then you can use them for the exercise. If you don't have a partner, just pick a relationship that you would like to improve. It could be with a parent, a child, a spouse, a co-worker, or a friend. And begin holding the thought each day, this person's true identity is God, and I am in partnership with God. This person, whomever you're thinking of, your partner, your loved one, your friend, your family member, your co-worker, whomever it is, this person's true identity is God. And then add, and I am in partnership with God. It means that you are in partnership with every brother and sister that crosses your path. Just think about that. And so, make a conscious effort to relate to people with the same reverence and love you feel for that God presence within you. So number one, part of the assignment, give yourself a day with God. Don't tell anybody, just say, today is my day with God. Whatever I do, I'm going to be conscious that I am doing it with God, and the presence is closer than my neck vein. It's nearer than my hands and feet. It's in my breathing. It's in my thinking. It's in my being. Part one. And part two, relate to others with the same reverence and love and joy that you lavish on that presence and power that's within you. In Morris's Day with God exercise, she advises that at mealtime, we imagine that we are dining with God at the table. When I first read this, I stopped eating out of plastic, takeaway containers with the little fork or the little spoon or whatever they give you, and started putting it in a proper soup bowl or a proper plate and knife and fork. Why, if I had anybody to a meal at my house, no matter how casual the relationship was, I wouldn't give them in a cardboard box. I would serve it on something that was worthy of my caring and my regard and my esteem of them. So why would I serve myself with God at my table as the honored guest in my home something less than? And I have the good things, you know. Some of them I have till them all crack up. Them dry rot. Let us start to use the good things we have when we dine with God. And when you are consciously relating to whomever is at your dining table along with God, because God is always there, it becomes very easy to recognize that presence and power within them. And you know what? You're less likely to have one eye on the television, to take or receive or to make telephone calls. You can give your attention to savoring the food and enjoying the company of whomever you are eating with. I think it's so important that we begin to live from the consciousness that we are the co-creators with the Almighty of this wonderful, wonderful existence, this wonderful beingness that we call life, and stop shortchanging ourselves. So I actually titled my encouragement this morning, Life is a Gourmet Meal, Don't Settle for Walef. You don't have to settle for the leftovers, my friend, because the table of life is spread before you, and you have been bid to come and help yourself to all the good that you deserve as a daughter or a son of the royal household of God. And the added bonus is that you won't rush your meals, you will enjoy. And if you dine by yourself, you will enjoy the honored guest that sits at your table with you whenever you sit down to eat. God, the living Spirit Almighty, the one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause of your very beingness. Finally, Morrison suggests that when you're driving, be consciously aware of God in the car with you, God in the car as you. For God is your co-pilot. In fact, God is the pilot, you are the co-pilot, although it's your hand on the wheel. And remind yourself that every other motorist, oh God, John, yes, you must think about this with the taxis. Please remind myself, it is God on the road. And you know, strange as it may seem, commuting is often a time when people are distanced from the higher mind and from their higher self. You know why? Because anger and frustration so easily surfaces in traffic. There was a taxi man behind me, you know, and he couldn't wait for the light to change, you know, because he can see that it's going to be green in a minute. So he starts honking on his horn. And when we got to the next traffic light, you know, I said, oh, my brother, I put my window down. I said, I'm just coming from Dovecot, and nobody's in a hurry out there. Everybody is waiting in line to go down into a hole. So, don't hurry. You owe it to yourself and to your passengers to take time. He said, true daddy, and with that he tore out from behind. From beside me. Friends, this teaching, you know, known as the science of mind and spirit, equips you with the tools you need to live a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life. You need not settle for the one left, because all that you desire has already been provided by the one presence and the one power. And when you honor this presence and power, and live from the consciousness that you are a co-creator with this presence and power of all that your heart desires, life becomes a glorious expression and a gourmet meal, and you never have to settle for the leftovers. So ask yourself the question, am I treating myself with the same love and consideration I give to others? Am I allocating the leftovers to myself, to my precious self, to my God self, while I lavish all of the best of me, my time, my treasure, every fiber of my being on other people, which is wonderful, and they deserve it, but please look after yourself as well. Throw out the leftover salad, whether it be the soggy lettuce or the wilted ideas that no longer serve you. Throw the remnants of soup, the soup of misunderstanding, and the soup that's full of all little bits of unresolved conflicts and disappointments and hurts. Throw it into the garbage disposal, the garbage gobbler, and begin to live from the consciousness that you are worthy of the very best that life has to offer. And affirm frequently, I deserve the best because I am the best. I am in conscious partnership with God. Can we say that together? I deserve the best because I am the best. Together. I deserve the best because I am the best. I am in conscious partnership with God. A friend sent me a video of a young man at the yacht club in some Caribbean island. I assume it's Trinidad and Tobago, because the young man had this heavy, which I love, musical Trinidadian accent. And this young man, as he looked along the dock at all the ships moored, he said, it occurred to him that the most valuable things in life, and the most valuable things we can possess in life, are all ships. Friendships, partnerships, relationships, companionships. And he asks of his audience, what ship are you sailing in and with whom? Because, sometimes on that journey, hardships will arise. And who you sail with and what your mental set is and where your heart is and your mind, that is the relationship that is going to outpicture in your experience on that voyage. And he said, when those hardships arise, my friends, there is an important ship that will anchor us in God. And that ship is worship. Oh, worship the King, all glorious. So that worship is what we come together on a Sunday morning, either in person or online, to pool our consciousness in this safe harbor known as the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living, knowing that we are moored, we are anchored to something so powerful, so awesome, so beautiful, so joyful, and so wholesome and wonderful that we can only stand in amazement at the majesty, beauty, and might of that presence and power, declaring itself as each one of us this Sunday morning. So thank you for being part of this experience, this spiritual movement. It is more than just a service. It is a celebration of the movement throughout the world, because I am convinced that as we do this and as we worship in holy communion, in holy common union with each other, we are launching the energy of love, which is celebrated in February, but which we carry on the altar of our hearts, burning as a bright light through every dark period of life and into the glorious daylight and the awakening to our spiritual magnificence, that we who hunger and thirst after righteousness, and we who have taken the choice to celebrate God, to live from the consciousness that life is a gourmet meal and that we never, ever again have to settle for our life. Namaste.
Oh, thank you so much, Reverend John. We knew it was going to be an amazing message. And he really, really urged us to remember that we deserve the best. We are all sons and daughters of the One. And we need to honor ourselves as much as we honor others. We have some assignments. We have to find some time to devote to being with God. We have to, I like the one about the bath, and to shower in appreciation. And pick a relationship and just acknowledge that that person is God expressing. This person's true identity is God, and I am in partnership with God. Isn't that something else? And to use up our good things and not wait until they dry rot and crack up. And to remember that life is a gourmet meal. This is the topic of his talk. Not to settle for the walef. Okay? And to think about that God is in our vehicles with us as we are driving. I deserve the best because I am the best. Let's say that together. I deserve the best because I am the best. Awesome. Okay, and now before we have our wonderful musical item this morning, which is Davel, I'm going to invite Reverend John back to do the blessing of all those who are Love Month babies. So all those born in February, please stand for your blessing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear loved one. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God as the strains of the birthday song go out into the universe, to touch every star, to make flowers bloom upon the earth, to fill the human experience with the ships that make life worth living. We celebrate those who were incarnated in the month of February and know that the world is a better place because their beautiful feet walk on this plane of existence to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate everyone with whom they come into contact. And so I know for them that from the center of their beings to the circumference of their conscious awareness, they live, move, and manifest life in a victorious state of fulfillment. And for them, life is a gourmet meal that they never, ever have to settle for Walef. The very best is theirs. The most that is beautiful and honorable and true is theirs, because God loves them, and so do we. And the universe says, happy birthday. And so it is.
Morning, all. In this month of celebration, I just send blessings to us all. I send love. I send appreciation as we go through this year. Take it away.
We've been together for a while now, growing stronger every day now. It feels so good and there is no doubt I will stay with you as each morning brings the sunrise and the flowers bloom in springtime. On my loving you can realize I will stay with you. Stay with you when no one else is around, and when the dark clouds arrive, I will stay by your side, and I know we'll be alright. I will stay with you. Yeah. Though relationships get old, they have a tendency to grow cold, but we have something like a miracle, yeah, and I'll stay with you. Whoa, I will stay with you through the ups and the downs. I will stay with you when no one else is around, and when the dark clouds arrive, I will stay by your side, and I know we'll be alright. I will stay with you, and there'll be heartaches and pain, yeah, they will. Through it all, we will remain. In this life, we all know friends may come and they may go, but through the years I know I will stay. And in the end I know that we'll find a love so beautiful and divine, and we'll be lovers for a lifetime, yeah, and I'll stay with you. Whoa, I will stay with you through the ups and the downs. I will stay with you when no one else is around. When the dark clouds arrive, I will stay by your side, and I know we'll be alright. alright. I will stay with you through the end of all time. I will stay with you. See, I'm yours and you're mine. I will stay with you. Ooh, 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 hey.
Wow, Javel. And guess what? Unlike Gladys, we don't want a divorce. You can stay with us anytime. Wonderful. Let's give him another round of applause. My friend, our next activity is something that I think is really doing transformative work. I don't think we think about it very often, but as you stand with me now to say the prayer of Jamaica, I want you to know that these words are being taken by the universe and made into the experience. It's a setting of our intention to transform the earth, the consciousness of the people of the earth. So would you stand and say the prayer of Jamaica with me? It's on a flyer in your program and it's on the screen thanks to our LoveStream tech team. Together, the radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now complete and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so it is. And our second hymn, This Is You. And it is indeed really you, on page 3 and on your screen. How marvelous, how wonderful, the universal love has manifested here in you and me. I look at you and see in you the God potential there. This is the real you in reality. So let the infinite love shine through. This is you, really you, really, because life is the heart of you. Wait no longer to know that is true. How marvelous, how wonderful the universal love has manifested here in you and me. When happenings are negative and everything seems wrong, remember that your attitudes that be. Deliberately then bring to mind the thoughts of harmony. It will reflect into your life, you'll see. So let the infinite love shine through. This is you, really you. We live God's life. know that God is living in us all. So let your infinite love shine through. This is you, really you. Believe God's life is the heart of you, which you conquer to know that it's true. How marvelous, how wonderful the universal love has manifested here in you and me. And with that ringing in your heart, would you take your love offerings in your hands? Or if you're about to press the donate button at donate.templeoflightcsl.org, just put your hand on your heart, because that too is an offering. As we say together, lovingly I give, joyfully I receive.
Be
Be thou fruitful, increase and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs.
Thank you,
Father.
And so it is. My friends, know with me that this moment in eternity, these people that have shared this moment, these souls of love and light and joy, are blessed, as are the gifts of money, substance, time, talent, treasure, and the consciousness of God that we bring together in holy communion with each other again today, and that we share with the world every moment of our lives. It is all good. It has been decreed very good by the Creator of all, and we simply endorse that with the seal of God's approval as we say, thank you, God, that this is so. And so it is. And today we're singing
Love.
Yes, there is love.
Yes.
Yes, there is love on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is love on earth, the love that was meant to be. With God as our Father, family all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, love begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in love eternally. Yes, there is love on earth, and yes, it begins with me. My friends, the gourmet meal begins right now, and you are invited to dine at the table to help yourself to all that your heart desires. Join me tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for quiet moments in the garden. And on Tuesday, our spiritual mind healing service will lift you to higher octaves of love and joy and expression. And then if you are hungering and thirsting for even more, join us for prayer power on Thursday evening for an hour of absolute blissful communion with God. And come again and again and again with your radiant consciousness to bless the earth and to take this teaching far and wide to to the honor and glory of God. God loves you, and so do I. Namaste.
Yes,